Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to episode 5 of Voice Over Histories. I'm Katie Aiken, and this is the docuseries that shines a light on the people, the projects, and the stories from the voiceover industry throughout the years. We're going back behind the mic today to be in a world with another legendary voiceover artist, Don LaFontaine. Even if you're not familiar with the name Don LaFontaine, you are almost certainly familiar with his work. His is the voice you automatically hear in your head when you imagine a film trailer. That deep voice, bringing an epic grandeur to the narration of the trailer. The ones that classically open with the line, "In a world."
In a world where the sun burns cold.
In a world where professional sports had sunk to a new low.
In a world that's powered by violence. On the streets where the violent have power. A new generation carries on an old tradition.
LaFontaine was born and raised in Minnesota, USA. The story of this truly iconic voice begins when he was 13 years old, when he claims that his voice spontaneously broke while he was mid-sentence. His new voice started to pay dividends pretty quickly, since his classmates saw the value in this deep, powerful voice and paid him to pretend to be their fathers, explaining that they were sick and taking the day off, allowing them to play hooky.
When I was 13 years old, my voice changed in the middle of a sentence. "Mom, I'll help you with the dishes." Literally. And it never went back. And I was just cut up in class. And when I went to school the next day, I didn't want to talk. And the teacher got bugged about it. She said, "Why aren't you saying something?" And I said, "What do you want me to say?" And I was sent to the office because she thought I was screwing with her. And for a while there, it really upset me. But then I discovered that I could be everybody's dad. Jimmy can't come to school today because he's not feeling very well.
After graduating from high school in Duluth in 1958, he joined the Army and was assigned the United States Army Band and Chorus as a recording engineer. This experience, dipping his toes into the world of audio, lit a passion, and following his discharge from the services, he continued working as a recording engineer at the National Recording Studios in New York. It was in 1962 that he met Floyd L. Peterson, a young radio producer. Together, they worked on various radio spots, including Stanley Kubrick's Dr. Strangelove. The partnership blossomed, and the following year, they went into business together, creating movie advertising. They started their enterprise in Peterson's apartment, but it didn't take long for business to boom. Soon, they had more than 30 employees and were amongst the first to deal exclusively with advertising for motion pictures. Their timing could not have been better, as the very concept of having trailers that acted as previews for soon-to-be-released films was at its infancy, meaning that catchphrases and staple lines that we're still familiar with today were born. Peterson and LaFontaine created the likes of the aforementioned In a World, as well as A One-Man Army, and Nowhere to Run, Nowhere to Hide, and No Way Out. But let's go back to LaFontaine's actual break into voiceover. It happened in 1964, and was in fact as a result of a scheduling mix-up. LaFontaine had written the copy for the radio spot for the film Gunfighters of Casa Grande, and another artist was due to come in to narrate the presentation to the client, Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer. When the voiceover didn't show up, LaFontaine jumped in, leading to MGM not only buying their concept, but also his performance.
The first movie spot that I ever did was for Gunfighters of Casa Grande, which was a huge epic from Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer. And I should have actually paused for your audience to go, ooh, at that point. Just out of fond memories. It was one of those grind westerns that they turned out back in the early 60s. And I had written some radio spots for it, and I was producing, I think about 6 or 7 radio campaigns that night, and I had announcers stacked up like planes over O'Hare outside. And the guy who was supposed to do that particular set of spots missed the call, didn't show up. And I had to present something the following day to Metro, so having written the thing, I went into the studio and read it and produced it, and I said, now when you get a real human being, this is what it's going to sound like. I said, no, you're fine, so they bought it. So that was the beginning.
In 1976, he started his own production company, Don LaFontaine Associates. The first job he landed through his own independent company was the trailer for The Godfather Part 2. Then, in 1978, he joined Paramount Pictures, heading up their trailer department and becoming the voice of Paramount. During the 3 years he spent at Paramount, he voiced trailers for huge hit films such as Batman Returns, The Terminator, Ghostbusters, and Rambo. When asked in later interviews what his favourite voiceover for a film trailer was, he credits it as being David Lynch's The Elephant Man in 1980.
John Hurt as the Elephant Man, coming from Paramount Pictures.
He left Paramount in 1981 when he moved to LA. In LA, he would meet Steve Tischerman, a young agent who LaFontaine signed with. Tischerman helped to further bolster and expand LaFontaine's already extensive voiceover portfolio. As the go-to voiceover guy for trailers, it is said that LaFontaine could be voicing up to 35 promotions per day, bringing in millions each year. Across his entire career, he narrated over 5,000 movie trailers. Not only that, LaFontaine also voiced hundreds of thousands of TV and radio spots. According to SAG-AFTRA, at last count, it was around 750,000, including commercials for Ford, Coke, McDonald's, and Budweiser, as well as being the voice of NBC, CBS, Fox, and Cartoon Network, to name but a few. LaFontaine received a good deal of recognition for his work and achievements, with key moments including being honoured at Cannes International Film Festival in 2000 and being awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award at the Hollywood Reporter's Key Art Awards in 2005. So recognisable was LaFontaine for his trailer voiceovers and broadcast channel affiliations that he has credits parodying himself as the voiceover guy. For example, he has starred in top animations such as Family Guy playing the Fox announcer and American Dad and Phineas and Ferb as the movie trailer announcer. His prestige as that announcer guy from the movies was also such an established part of pop culture that he found himself in commercials such as for Hollywood video stores in the late 90s.
Hi, could you tell us a little bit about this movie?
Don, we need you up here.
From flesh to steel, from blood to blade, from man to mutant, evil has a new enemy, justice has a new weapon, and the world has a new hero.
That was real nice, Don.
And Geico's 2006 ad campaign.
Paula Sala is a real Geico customer, not an actor. So to help tell her story, we hired that announcer guy from the movies.
When the storm hit, both our cars were totally underwater.
In a world where both of our cars were totally underwater,
We thought it would take forever to get some help.
but a new wind was about to blow.
With Geico, we had our check in 2 days.
Payback. This time, it's for real.
Geico. Real service, real savings.
Based on signed contracts, Don LaFontaine may very well hold the distinction for being the busiest actor in the history of the Screen Actors Guild. An absolutely outstanding achievement. Arguably, even more incredible given that he wasn't doing character work. It was all him, all his unmistakable voice. He is known for practically inventing the voiceover niche of movie trailer narration. And following his death in 2008, there was such a significant decline in the number of voiceovers and trailers that they're now pretty rare. If this wasn't legacy enough, there are an innumerous number of mentions from people who actually knew him about his kindness and his humour. It was these human qualities, as well as his talent, that earned him such respect both in the industry and beyond. As a voiceover artist, I think that his huge success aside, it's his innovation and unwavering passion for the medium, as well as how he's remembered by his peers and the public, that's inspiring. And I feel very lucky to be in a world with icons like Don LaFontaine to look up to. Thank you so much for watching Voice Over Histories. This is not the end, but it is time for me to take a short break on Voice Over Histories now to work on the next batch of episodes. If you haven't seen them already, there are 5 episodes up that you can check out. In the meantime, I'll be posting more Voice Over Histories Quick Facts episodes, which are 60-second shorts, so make sure that you're subscribed so that you see those. And if you'd like to stay up to date on all things Voice Over Histories, do make sure that you follow Voice Over Histories on Instagram or TikTok. See you again soon.